Hello, everyone. My name is Eugene Wexler. I work for Lineate. I'm here to talk about data processing and reporting problems at the Real-Time Data Summit. Um, a few words about company I work for. Lineate does custom development and clouds, helping organizations to scale their technology and manage vast data volumes and user bases. We work for clients in US and Western Europe. We globally distributed, having dev centers in Georgia and Armenia, and we work with uh, a lot of big names like NYU, Warner Music Group, Visa, and also we have a much bigger trail of ad tech customers and industry we specialize a lot on. The industry which actually power internet and process all the internet traffic with real-time advertising. A little bit about myself. I'm a director of solutions architecture at Lineate from upstate New York. I'm developing data-heavy applications since 2005, and I worked for Lineate for more than 13 years, and been as a developer and then a solution architect, currently leading a small team of solutions architect at Lineate. So what's this presentation going to be about? First, I kind of want to define what's the actual problem we're solving, data processing, then talk about our experience in ad tech industry, um, different technologies we solved, data processing problems in ad tech, and then how we solve the same problem outside of a tech industry. And most interesting part is why reporting project failed in the past or went hard, and what approach we found that worked for us. So how I call it, the actual problem, data processing or reporting problem. It's the problem when we want to convert massive streams of operational data from diverse sources on small, medium, or large scale into a well-organized and queryable database to support business intelligence and automated decision making. As an example, one of our customers, executive of a big hotel chain, needed to wait for a week to get an answer on the question how many rooms they sold, while the data is actually available next morning, sitting in some software in their company. On a bigger scale, advertising systems processing 100,000 events per second with hundreds of data points in each event. Data is too sparse and unstructured, and it's very non-trivial problem to simplify it into something to see the actual performance and get the correct financial reporting on time. The common thing for two examples I brought, we need to build a unified, consistent picture of your world on top of the poorly structured data. And it involves a lot of problems, challenges to be solved. I will focus on a few, kind of the most important as we see them in the next couple slides. Number one on my list is unification. The business problem here is you have different departments in the organization which use different systems or use different names for naming the same things, same concepts. But then when you want to build a consistent reporting in the organization, you need to identify and connect those things. And it's a hard problem to, like on this slide, It's from our company. We have a sales system where we call things opportunities, accounts, products, and operational system on the other side with customers, projects, and roles. Uh, and it's an important part of any reporting project to create a dictionary for the business. Another kind of linked problem to that, to map actual objects between two systems. You like finding and mapping keys, introducing new mapping structures, doing fuzzy matching to identify that okay, this customer is exactly the same as that customer in another system. Uh, the big another big thing actually, which like highlighted a lot in various machine learning courses, data cleansing, uh, which is they say where you spend 80% of the time as a data scientist trying to find uh, trying to normalize your data and remove noises from it. Uh, in business applications, it's like dates, currencies, duplicates, a lot of things. I like the one most of it. Like, believe it's most important. Coming up with naming conventions, how you name your tables, fields, and other things. Because someone will need to use your reporting system and memorize how these tables, uh, memorize the names of those tables, which means uh, uh, sorry, uh, yeah, move to next slide. Another problem is scaling up. There are some attack system with billions of events to be reported on, and you need to figure out what's the right structure to query it with small latency. That's important. We had customers with billions of events per day, 50 dimensions, and somehow as they had a requirement to query it with 500 milliseconds, which is quite challenging problem to solve. Scaling down is another issue. When you it happened to us before serverless era, when we would need to use a lot of servers to deploy Hadoop cluster in the cloud, and managing cost while you don't have that much data yet for a startup is a big challenge. Um, Now I want to talk about our tech experience. Um at Tech is where we had the most opportunities to work on reporting problems, and we have built many real time systems for our tech clients, and that included solving data processing problems. Also, we sometimes came to help and had to deal with those systems already built to optimize the performance, for example. Uh, what's ad tech? Ad tech is serving the right ads to people while maximizing publishers' revenue and advertiser conversions at the same time. Um, and there are various ad tech specific challenges you need to be solving. The One of the interesting challenges is linking events together when you have a lot of software components serving data in real time. Uh, like events from one user can be impression when they see ad, clicks when someone clicks an ad, and then conversion events. Different software components, process them separately, and then you need to link them together. And you have to think about data processing even in the moment of processing those events using some kind of cache structures or databases to connect events, to kind of map events one to another. And another very interesting part of reporting not tech, because of the huge size of it. Uh, you want to design the aggregates to get the efficient latencies, as I mentioned earlier, in query time. So we have to think about specific use cases and separate dimensions and metrics into groups to get smaller aggregate sizes and more efficient queries. For ad tech, we use various tools and technologies because we had to build it fully custom. Um, and I'll just mention some of them. Like for data ingestion, the common pattern is to use a messaging queue like Kafka, and feed things to the messages can be consumed by ETL frameworks like Spark. Or if it was quite difficult to optimize Kafka or configure it correctly back in the days without serverless available. So sometimes in earlier projects we would simplify that to launch faster and would write raw events directly to um, column analytical databases or some data lake. And for processing data, Hadoop was a standard. We even had experience of using bare metal configurations of Hadoop. And later in the days, most of the project will be built in Spark, and later AWS AMR, serverless version of Spark. Um, so that kind of, but then many variations, many custom kind of configurations of how you build reporting project. Later iterations, uh, let's talk about another type of our clients, a small and medium business. Since I joined Lineate, we evolved a lot in our way how we report on our data. Uh, there is not so much data outside of a tech, but still the same business need. Many SaaS solutions, software tools used to automate operations in small business, and across those tools we need to answer standard questions like what's our billable utilization, or how many employees we have, for our customers, hotel chain, who are the guests. Um, so these tools, they have some kind of reporting capabilities, and many departments exporting data from those systems using those reporting capabilities, cooking their reports and versions, and then they trying to prove that the reports are correct. The validation becomes very expensive, and so some solution is needed. The same kind of problem, connecting the data together. At Lineate, when we faced this problem, we decided that we uh, like because of our size, we won't be building anything custom and spending time with it. We just use a third-party solution called Click Data, uh, and it kind of helped us a lot. It's low code. The only code you write is SQL, and you do a lot of clicking to produce transformations. Um, so it was pretty interesting. And here I want to make a pause, and because that our internal project was a little bit painful and took a lot of time, I want to talk about why a reporting project may fail or get delayed. And there are various reasons in our experience. Um, the first major reason, when people trying to build software without changing a culture in the organization. Uh, and it actually doesn't really matter what software you use or build for reporting if you're not addressing the challenge itself, the challenge of connecting data, connecting people, connecting department. And what sometimes happens, different departments view data differently. They have their own versions, and then data team comes and build yet another version of reality instead of uh, connecting together, providing a glue for the teams to work to share the data. That's the reason number one of any slowdowns and difficulties with reporting project, which you need to think about when you decide to build your reporting system. Uh, uh, Another example of failures is came just from one of our clients in the automotive industry that tried to simplify a stream of million events per second from automobiles to their uh, chosen magic pill database Dreamio, and they just uploaded all the data as is to the database and then tried to build an analytical UI on top of that. Didn't work for them, and we helped them to design aggregates, pre-aggregated versions of the data after analyzing a lot their use cases to make it work. So technology is not a magic pill. And then final observation we made after many reporting projects, building it again and again from scratch distract you from the most important things. Because there is a lot of hard problems to be solved when you build something from scratch, and data engineer teams have tendency to solve engineering problems. That is natural, but then it means that they have less time to focus on what really matters: reporting, schema, standardization, figuring user needs. Our solution to that was to standardize, and we needed we decided to standardize technologies and architecture. Third party, we needed to the third party tools, they are quite limited and not repeatable. So we needed to replace that click data. It didn't work for us anymore. So building another thing fully custom would be expensive. So the path in the middle to use AWS and their set of technologies. And we did a little bit more than just deciding to use AWS. We sketched that architecture, which we believe is now reproducible. We build it for ourselves, the project using it, and then we repeated it for one of our customers successfully. It includes data ingestion standards and transformation on smaller scale and high scale. Um and it allows us to spend less time on reinventing the wheel and much more time on figuring out what the right how to ingest their data right, how to solve complex data problem instead of solving complex problems, actually figuring out the fields we need in the data and mapping system together and designing pre-aggregates. um, and It works on scale as well. It supports either pure Python. We prefer to use pandas for small data, which is quite convenient tool, or Spark. And on scale, we would use Spark for big data, and we can connect directly to data streams from Kafka and Kinesis. Um, so basically, data Octopus with its standardized deployment scripts allows us to rapidly start any data project with familiar architecture, and then developers spend less time on technical difficulties and more on important things. And the final words, some tips for building good reporting project, successful reporting solution. From our experience, it's allowing enough time for cleaning the data and figuring out its final form. Uh, Cleaning data in the sources is better option than inside ETL framework. You need to spend time with users, talk to them, understand the business domain. And if you are a user, you need to be prepared to spend time with engineers and explain them your area, teach them. And finally, don't spend that much time on building reporting infrastructure, standardizing technology. It should be repeatable. This is it. I will be happy to answer any questions over email, which is on the slide, or you can fill a form on our website. Thank you again.